So in this video, I wanted to talk about the importance of research and self-education. Now, a lot of you may wonder, did I go to school for this? Or how did I start? Or how did I really get initiated and start understanding how to do the things I do and how I got to this level? Well, I didn't go to film school. I took photography classes in high school and, some basic things, but a lot of it was just an interest. I started with an interest. I picked up a camera one day. I wanted to be a photographer. I had an eye. I had this creative knack, and I went out there and I shot. And I messed up and I didn't know what I was doing. Even the basics, the rule of thirds and understanding lighting and symmetry and all these, basic things. I didn't know that. I had no understanding. So I had to research, really self-educate because again, I didn't go to school and I didn't have the money to go to school. So it was very important for me to be able to structure myself and create this energy that would allow me to educate myself and be so inspired to keep moving forward. So each month I would focus on something different, whether it be like composition or lighting or, framing and just the basics, shutter speed, aperture, whatnot. I would read, I would go out and shoot. Even while I was doing my regular job, I would be researching. I'd be on my phone or I'd be on the work computer and, just putting everything I could into it because deep down I felt like I was really passionate about this. And, sometimes at first you don't even know if you're really passionate about it. It's just an interest. And that develops and that grows and that evolves. And that makes you want to do more research. And that's why people say, you really got to find what you love doing. And I wouldn't say you have to love it, but I think you do need to be interested enough in it to want to research it, to want to educate yourself. Because a lot of people don't like reading. A lot of people don't want to educate. A lot of people don't like going to school. They don't like being structured and told what to do. But in this form, you can teach yourself. You can learn what you want to learn at your own pace. But don't slack either. There's a lot of resources out there. You have YouTube, you got Google. I Google everything. It could be the most random stuff. It doesn't matter. I will Google it. And then I'll, of course, check the sources to make sure it's actually legitimate, and it's not some random guy just spewing out a bunch of misinformation. That's important too. So yeah, there's a lot of information out there, but you have to sort through the garbage. Really check your sources. For filmmaking and content creation, YouTube is huge. And then there's websites like nofilmschool.com and Cinema 5D, and there's guys like Philip Bloom and Shane Hurlbutt. You can learn so much from these people. Even someone like Roger Deakins, a guy from the American Society of Cinematographers. He's a genius when it comes to lighting and framing and composition. You can actually go to his forum, and talk to him directly. I remember when I was doing a short film called Blame, and I had a question about a camera movement, a dolly move. And he told me his idea, but he said, you have to know your own film. You have to know what you need. This is what I would do, but then again, I don't have the whole context. I don't have the script. But it was really eye-opening to be able to reach out and just communicate with this guy. And I've figured out that the filmmaking and content creation community is very welcoming. And I was never afraid to ask people. The willingness to want to educate myself and just keep pushing forward. And then to be disciplined and structured to do it, because you'll never grow, you'll never evolve unless you truly want to learn. So you have to get your head in the books. Find the format that works best for you. I didn't like reading at first, I just wanted to watch videos, and that's okay. Maybe you like audiobooks, or maybe you physically need a book to read. I've done all of them. I naturally tend to watch videos more because I'm more of a visual person. But, find what works best for you. And like I said, find that interest just enough for you to say, hey, I want to learn about this. And it can just steamroll from there. And before you know it, it takes time, don't get me wrong. You will be so confident in your abilities, and clients will just come knocking, and you'll have a resume and you'll have a reel ready. And that's when just things start taking off, and it's not really that difficult to do, but it all centers around the willingness to self-educate, the willingness to be proactive in learning. But it's up to you. You are your own school. Your back is not against the wall. There's no money that's being spent. It's just time. Time is your investment. And, choose wisely. Choose wisely where you spend your time. Do your research. Ask people questions. And at the end of the day, just have fun with it. If it's something that you feel really crappy about, that you don't really feel interested in, then maybe you shouldn't be learning that. Maybe shift to a different element of that and come back to that later. Maybe, have an understanding of it and take it and just keep moving forward. I don't think you need to learn every single thing in every aspect, but if there's a specialty that you want to learn, yeah, focus on that first, but also understand what goes into it. For instance, if you want to be a DP, you need to understand how the grip department works and how the lighting department works, and being a gaffer and being a leader. So you need to self-educate. You need to understand that if I'm going to be a leader, I need to be confident in myself. I need to be able to lead a crew of people, or I need to be able to come up with decisions last minute. These are things you don't think about when you think about educating yourself, because filmmaking and content creation is not all just technical and creative. There's a lot of motivation behind it. There's a lot of self-learning and experiences that go along with it that you need to strengthen yourself as a person. I think as you're educating, you should be balancing the technical and creative with your own personal ambitions and goals and whatnot, and how you can better yourself as a person to lend towards that goal of that profession or that craft. And that is so important. I can't stress that enough, because at first when I was like, I wanted to be a director, and everybody wants to be a director, and I would read about what it takes to be a director and how insane it is, how much responsibility you have, and how many people are going to be coming to you and asking you questions, and how you need to know this department and work with this person and communicate with this person. And I was just like overwhelmed. I was like, oh, this is not what I expected. I thought I was just going to be able to chill in the cut, do my thing, be creative, choose shots, kind of be quiet. I didn't look at the whole aspect of like working with actors and communication. So I had to really work on my communication skills. And I was always behind the camera. So now I'm like in front of the camera talking to you, but this is because I've worked on it for, almost 10 years now. And I've gotten to this point where I'm confident enough to talk about it, and I want to share my experiences with you and educate you as well that, it is possible. It is possible to learn. It is possible to become different and evolve as a person, and also creatively and technically, because when it comes to photography and content creation, anybody can do it. But how are you standing out, above them? How are you creating a niche? What are you providing to them? These are all things I had to research, And besides the technical stuff of shutter speeds and apertures and lighting and I mean just all the technical mumbo jumbo, I had to really work on myself. So that's so important. I can't stress that enough. But guys, go out there, create, do your thing, make mistakes, come back, figure out what you did wrong, ask questions, reach out to people, use YouTube, use Google, read books, find your format, find your interest, and just do it, man.